Now, wait a second. Would you believe the Miami Heat came out last night at Boston and did a Celtics on the three-point crazed Celtics, out shooting their host 23-12 from three, winning by 10. No Jimmy Butler, no Terry Rozier, heck, no Josh Richardson. No problem for Heat culture. I'm going to ask two questions once again. Are you sure about a Celtics team that lives and dies by the three? And are you sure about Jason Tatum, nice guy that he is, being that guy? I'm just not sure yet. But what about you, Keyshawn? What did last night tell you?
Where should I start?
Yeah.
Because the guy who's been sitting to my left is mysteriously gone today.
Hey, you know, that's a good point.
And Paul Pierce.
That's a good point.
Where is Paul? But as they would like to say, how do you like them apples now, Paul? Okay? How do you like them?
Yeah.
Because nobody could beat the Celtics. They're invincible. They're young. They can get up and down the floor. They can shoot the three. Man, we got the best record in the league, all of those sort of things. Well, I would say that Miami put on the show. They went out there and Tyler Herro knocked down the threes, something that he didn't do in game one.
No.
Bam Adebayo played at a level, something that he didn't do. Then you got Caleb Martin contributing to a whole nother level. He knocked down shots. Now, as far as when you start to look at the playing experiences, Paul wanted us to believe that this young team that they had was like first and second year players. Okay? Derek White, 6 years, Tatum 7, Jaylen Brown 7, Porzingis 7, Drew Holiday 14 years, and Al Horford, I count his numbers 16 and then some. Opposed to these young bucks, in Jaquez Jr., a rookie. You got a first year in Nikola, Bam is 6 years, Caleb 4, and Tyler Herro 4. So that experience that Boston has above them didn't show up last night at all whatsoever. And to speak to the point about Tatum, as we talk about him, he is a hell of a basketball player who tends at times to disappear.
He does.
In the second quarter, he did not shoot it well. First quarter, he lit him up. He got 14, he lit him up. Second quarter, he just disappeared. He just didn't. He was 0 for 3 for 3. He was 2-6 from the field. Then when you skip over, he had a nice third quarter. But once you got to the fourth quarter, again, we couldn't find him.
I couldn't find him.
Couldn't find him, and he disappeared. Now, do I think that he'll duplicate that same again in game 3? Probably not. Probably not, but it certainly is pointing to us believing that he's not the finisher or the closer that we all talk about star players are supposed to be. He's a hell of a player, man. He just, for some reason, in them fourth quarters, he just can't. There's times in spurts in games where he just doesn't show the same Jason Tatum that we know. And that's one of the main reasons, on top of Spo being the coach that he is, to make the adjustments that he made. And he made adjustments from the first quarter to the second quarter to be able to say, we're not going to just allow them to do this to us. And that's good coaching. That's why we consider him one of the top dudes in the league doing this. But I sure wish that Paul Pierce was sitting next to me right now today, Michael, because, ooh-wee, who's your daddy now?
Yeah, who's your daddy?
As I told him, you need to stop worrying about the Lakers and start worrying about the Celtics.
Yeah, there was something about, he was scheduled to be in here today, and then I think all of a sudden he had, one of his kids had a school function.
He had some personal things that he needed to attend to. So, you know, I'm going to let him do that.
So.
He'll be here tomorrow, hopefully.
But we hear all the time. We hear all the time that this is where coaching probably matters the least. You know, and I'm telling you, I'm talking about in basketball, like coach is so important in football, but basketball is about talent. Not at this point. Not at this point. This is where coaching really comes in. And Boston has all the talent, but Miami, they got some gut players and they got some great coaching. Great coaching, and they play hard the whole time. Now, I'm going to tell you something. In Boston, New York got the same thing. They got some good players that play hard all the time.
They do.
Boston has great players, but they don't play hard all the time. I mean, the most talented team, physically gifted, but probably when you look compared to all those teams, needs the least amount of effort. The least amount of effort. Thibs in New York, and I will be there. I'll put my toe on the wood. I'm going to one of those playoff games. I'll call my boy over here, Fresh West, and I'm going to hang out after the game with Coach Thibs in his special room. And every time I go hang out with him, or you get around Coach, they remind me of Jimmy Johnson. They drive you. You know what I mean? They drive you. They push you. It ain't never easy. And I saw that in Miami last night. Miami pushed Boston. Caleb Williams got the ball. Martin got the ball and looked right at Porzingis sitting up under the basket and said, chomp. And just came and tried to dunk right on his head. 6'5" on 7 feet. He's saying, we don't care about you. We're going to do this right here. I love how hard they're playing. Coach Spoelstra talked about the things they needed to tighten up on. He did it at the end of game 1. They started coming back. They put it in place in game 2, and they won this game. Coaching is going to be the difference in this whole series. In this whole playoff run for Boston, they got to match up with some great coaching, and I don't know if Mazzulla can do that.
They lost by 10, Paul.
Yeah.
So to your point, I'm watching, and Heat are up 7 going to the fourth quarter, and I still said Boston's going to take this thing because they're just too good, and they're too proud, and they'll just say, no, that's enough of this, because Miami is overmatched and just under-talented because they've lost Jimmy and they've lost Terry Rozier.
Right.
Josh Richardson's a pretty good player, so you're just so undermanned. And I'm looking, Jason, you ready to go? You going to go? And he's got 2 free throws early in the fourth quarter, and he steps to the line and goes clank, clank. And I said, uh-oh.
Yep.
And here they went. South they went. And he was quiet the rest of the fourth quarter, and Porzingis, the unicorn, as they used to call him.
Shoot threes,
yeah,
man.
he goes 1 for 9 for the game, and he's not made of that tough stuff.
Right.
But I tried to tell Paul that. Paul tried to tell me.
Right.
Paul, I mean, Paul played in the NBA, so he would know a little bit more than me. But I don't need to play in the NBA to know what I see.
You don't.
I see that. He's not.
No.
Paul, I said, no, man, stop that, Paul.
He's not that
Don't
guy.
do that.
Right.
Jaylen Brown is the only dude right now for me
I agree.
that's like,
He's got some fire in
he got
him.
some stuff in
Drew
him.
Holiday had some fire in him.
Yeah.
He had some
Well,
fire.
Drew been around a long time, but I'm just talking
Drew had
about
something in him.
I'm talking about
He had some fire.
the core of their team. Jaylen Brown is above everybody else on a consistent basis.
I can dig it.
So I watched Coach Spo talk to his team after the game in the locker room, and he said to them, and I'm just paraphrasing, I appreciate the intent with which we prepared. And that seems like some coach's word.
Right.
But you get intent.
That's what I'm talking
because
about.
You have to have locked-in focus.
Right.
Where
That's
you
exactly
believe,
what I'm saying.
You believe in what the coaches are telling you, and you are going to execute it.
To the level.
Yes.
To the level.
You're going to come out over-prepared to give every last ounce you got. And the game plan was see 3, shoot 3.
Right.
Like we didn't get up enough, and we can't match 50, but we'll shoot 43. And
They
if you
hit
can,
23
that's what I'm saying. If you can make, and that's their record for a playoff game,
And Charles
right?
talked about it after the game. He said, he said, it is nothing like it. A coach's first job is to put you in position to win. But the great coaches, they tell you how you're going to win. I'm telling you, every game, every Super Bowl we won, Jimmy told us exactly how that Super Bowl was going to go. He said, we're going to play the Buffalo Bills. They're going to be tough early on, but right around the end of the second half, they'll start fumbling the ball, and we'll take. It's exactly like it. And I always say hope gives effort. When you see this thing playing out just like Coach talked about, then all I got to do is give all the effort in the world because we're following the right plan. This thing is going to come down to coaching and how much you believe in those coaches. And I'm telling you, Miami, New York, they believe in their coaches.
Don't let them somehow get Jimmy back or Terry Rozier back where suddenly they feel like it's a level playing field. Don't let them get Josh Richardson back. I have no idea what their injury status is.
Maybe they don't. Maybe right now they don't feel that way. They're at home now, skipping game 3. They stole one on the road,
and that was a steal.
And they got that one. They was down. They going into the game, they were 14.5-point underdogs.
They were.
Everybody just assumed, I'm not gonna watch this game. I'm gonna take a sneak peek at it. And that's pretty much it. What I saw was Celtics was up by 1 at halftime.
Right.
I got ready for the second half. Oh, I was like, oh, okay. I see what this is getting ready to be.
Did you enjoy that as much as I did? Because
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
I was texting Paul. He wouldn't respond back, though, because, you know, I was on him.
Yeah.
Oh, I was on his head.
You sent me one of the texts you sent to him, but you got no response.
No. He didn't respond.
Okay.
But it does come down
Feelings
to
are
this.
hurt.
You see the difference. We talk about the Celtics and can they get through a championship? You see the difference, and we'll talk about this later. As when the Nuggets were down to the Lakers, I never doubted.
Really?
I never doubted that. I never doubted that they were going to come back because I know that championship fit. And no matter how far you get ahead of them, they'll think, we're the champs. We're just going to keep playing our game, and they do creep back. Boston, they don't have that.
No, they don't have that.
Boston do not have
Okay,
that.
so am I going to flip and pick Miami to win this series? I can't. I just can't yet. Unless you tell me one of their